around.
We are getting a very close-up look at these Coast Guard Specialized Forces training to board and take over a vessel. It's something they've been doing a lot of these days. And what's unique about the Coast Guard is they are both a military service and a law enforcement agency. So they have unique authority to do these kinds of missions on the high seas. At a Coast Guard station in Miami, Special Forces run through drill after drill in this so-called ship-in-a-box before they're deployed. While the units have always trained for high-stakes missions, they're being used by the Trump administration at an unprecedented pace and scale. Are you guys feeling a ramp up? Are these guys being used in ways they've never been used before?
Just like the rest of the Coast Guard, we're surging tactical operators to get after missions in support of the nation. We're highly in demand. We're getting after it.
This year, these elite units have ramped up drug interdictions in the Pacific and the Caribbean. They've been tackling illegal immigration on the water, including along the Rio Grande, and they've been leading seizures of oil tankers alongside other Special Forces units. Now, the Coast Guard is creating its own deployable Specialized Forces Command to support those operations. What does that mean for these guys, these Specialized Forces, who train to do this day in and day out?
This deployable Specialized Forces Command is going to give our operators better command and control while they're here and at sea. It's also going to help make that connective tissue with the Department of War so that we can get after the nation's objectives just more efficiently and more effectively.
Officials say the Coast Guard is in high demand because it has law enforcement authority under Title 14 of the U.S. Code. That means it can make arrests, conduct seizures, and carry out actions that other branches of the military can't. So the Coast Guard is a military service with law enforcement authority.
Yet we're the only military service with domestic law enforcement authority. That's what Title 14 gives us. So we have the ability to board any vessel that the United States Coast Guard needs to board. And we have teams that are trained and capable of doing that.
As the U.S. does more of these boardings of all kinds of vessels, are there concerns that the people aboard the vessels will eventually fight back?
Cover me.
That's always a concern that we have for our members. And that's why we train to the level that we do.
So this is Mark 18, this rifle we use during CQC. This is like our primary. When you're on target, you'll flip it to fire, you'll unload a couple rounds, and then you can flip it back to safe.
All right, safety up.
So flip it off safe, there you go. So now you're on fire.
Wait, are you guys okay? Oh my God. During drills, the forces use these real rifles, Mark 18s, loaded with non-lethal rounds. Wow, that's some firepower. The Coast Guard can use force to compel compliance, and they use lethal force only in self-defense. So he had a gun.
Yeah, so what you just saw here was a dynamic room clear with multiple potential threats. And our operators had to make a rapid split-second decision on whether or not there was a deadly force situation.
You call it a shoot, no shoot decision.
Absolutely.
So in front of you, you have 3 different precision rifles that a gunner can choose from depending on what he's doing. The big one here, the Barrett M107, it's 50 cal, a lot of stopping power. It will punch through anything. Our primary target is engines. We want to stop the vessel as quickly as possible without injuring the persons on board. We have a number of tactics to try to get the vessel to stop. The first one that we're always going to use is the warning shots. We don't want to be firing at a vessel that might stop if they see a weapon fired in front of them.
Last year, as the Department of Defense drew criticism for blowing up alleged drug boats, the Coast Guard seized a record 500,000 pounds of cocaine. As missions ramp up, the Coast Guard's special forces are increasingly working alongside other special forces across the military. While it's playing a growing role in national security missions, its leaders say the service is in desperate need of more people and resources.
Despite the mission success and great work of our people, the Coast Guard is in a severe readiness crisis that has been decades in the making. Today, our Coast Guard is less ready than at any other time since the end of World War II 80 years ago.
To help address that problem, the Coast Guard received an unprecedented $25 billion infusion from the One Big Beautiful Bill last year. That money will be used to help the Coast Guard enhance its specialized teams, buy more ships and helicopters, and enable the U.S. to project power around the world.
We are going to be able to be in the Arctic at a level that we haven't been. The Arctic is opening up. Ice has receded. We're seeing that competitors are in the Arctic, and the Coast Guard needs to be there to project presence into that space to make sure that we can safeguard our national interests.
Hands on the wall, don't talk, don't move.
I like to think of this like if you're playing football, we're going and we are playing defense in the adversary's red zone instead of waiting for them to get into ours.